Please join us and our guest, Kevin Coriano. Here we go.
Hello, and welcome to the Experience Local with Russ and Scott. Each week, they bring you conversations with local Christian businesses and business owners. The Experience Local is brought to you each week by wonderful sponsors.
Albany Area Habitat for Humanity. Learn how you can be involved at albanyareahfh.org or visit them at the Restore, 1225 6th Street Southeast in Albany. Independent Merchant Brokers. Low cost and no cost debit and credit card processing. 877-460-4747. IndependentMerchantBrokers.com. Boson Hub Digital Development encourages you. Join in supporting Walk to End Alzheimer's. ALZ.org. Adams Rib Smokehouse, 1210 State Street, Salem, Oregon. 503-362-2194. AdamsRibSmokehouse.com. Discover Oregon Real Estate. Tim Rist on the web at dore.llc. Find your people, find your home.
And now, your hosts for the Experience Local, Russ and Scott.
Well, Russ,
Hey.
Mondays are always a good day, and Copper Rock. Tell us a moment about Copper Rock because they're a sponsor for us this September.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. We are so blessed with so many great and amazing sponsors. I'm just going to throw this up real quick there. Copper Rock Real Estate. Everybody, I'm telling you, they are a great resource in Albany, Oregon, and the Mid Valley. And you need to go to Copper Rock. And for more information on them, just look in our show notes or go online, and all the information we have available, because Scott and I have all these handy little things you can find to find out more information about what is going on here, like local.theexperience.video, which takes you to all of our information and the information about the shows, which is where you'll find more information about Copper Rock as well. And please, while you're at it, subscribe to our YouTube page at theexperience.video. I mean, it's simple. We make it real simple for you. But we just want to thank all of our sponsors, but especially Copper Rock is our newest. And so just thank you so much to them. And next week we will have them in the video and be good. So, Scott, how are you doing on this great movement time for you?
Yeah, it's great. You know, we're in the process of moving and settling, and it always is kind of fun to go through all of your stuff and dig up those memories and think about things. Of course, Christine and I just celebrated our 40th wedding anniversary, so we have quite a few memories together.
Quite a few. Yes. One of these days I'm going to catch you. We're at 37. So we're coming. We're trying.
Keep at it. Keep at it. 37, that's a good start.
Yes, it's a good start. Well, and I told you before, I
Mhm.
think 37 or 40 sounds like a lot until we celebrated my mother-in-law and father-in-law, my favorite mother-in-law and father-in-law's 70th wedding anniversary. I'm like, oh my goodness. I don't know that I'll ever make it to 70 if I'll live that long, but 70th, they got married very young.
Well, it's a great goal to reach out to 70. What a beautiful number. Hey,
Oh,
we've got a great guest today, Kevin Coriano from Healing Motion Physical Therapy. I'm just looking forward to learning from him and his friendship with you and what all's going on in Kevin's world.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Kevin is an amazing physical therapist with Healing Motion Physical Therapy, and he's my physical therapist too. But this show is all about believers in business. And
Mhm.
what I love about Kevin is not only is he a strong believer, but he is in a local business here in the area just that's thriving, and they're growing all the time. We're going to let him tell you about that. I just want to remind you one more time that we're here live every Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time for your listening and viewing pleasure. And so this also goes onto the Experience Radio Network that
Mhm.
is ever expanding. So look online, the information on that at local.theexperience.video will give you more information there. But we're just so thankful that you're here. And Kevin is going to fill us in because we're going to bring him in the house right now. Everybody welcome Mr. Kevin Coriano.
Hey
Hey, Kev.
guys. Hey.
Hey, Kevin.
How's
How
it
you doing,
going?
man?
Experience.
Oh, I'm good. Thank you for having me. I'm excited. Yeah.
Well, we're excited that you're here. And, you are such a down-to-earth guy. And, the first time we met, I found out you're about the same age as my daughter. And I find out that pretty much everybody that takes good care of me these days is all about the age of my kids. So I figured that's got to be a good age, right? You're young, you're moving, you're on it, and I'm happy. So thankful for you. But give everybody a little bit, just give us a snippet on who is Kevin, what are you up to, and tell us a little bit about your business.
Yeah. I'm originally from Anchorage, Alaska. I was born and raised there. And I ran cross country and track, and that's actually how I fell in love with Oregon, because we ran in Oregon quite a bit all through high school. And so I had an opportunity to get a scholarship to Corbin University for running, and they had all the prerequisites I wanted for PT. So I ended up going there for 4 years. I graduated in 2008. And from there, I almost moved back to Alaska, but I met my wife, who's from the Salem Kaiser area, born and raised here. And so she's the reason why I stuck around in the area.
Good reason. That was
good
a
reason.
move.
Yeah. And so, yeah, her name's Allie. She's a teacher. And from there, she was finishing her school. I took a break from going to PT school. And then I went to George Fox University in 2017 and graduated in 2020. I have 3 kids. I have 3 boys, ages 6, 5, and 2. And so they keep me busy and on my toes. But no, they're a lot of fun. And yeah, when I graduated in 2020, I started working at a clinic doing like primary care PT for some doctors. And then we were trying to build my own clinic. And we were trying to figure out all the insurance, marketing, and all that all that stuff, all the fun stuff in the medical world. But our friends who own Healing Motion PT, they were kind of helping us and coaching us along. And then one time during dinner, they basically offered, what if we opened up a Healing Motion in Salem? You were the manager and operator there, and we'll take care of all the marketing, insurance, credentialing, all the icky stuff. And we'll help you build it from there. My wife was all on board right then and there.
Done deal.
Yeah, done deal. And so that happened in 2022. So we've been open here at Healing Motion Salem since August of 2022. So we just had our 2-year just last month. So yeah.
So today's guest, our believer in business, Kevin Coriano, Healing Motion Physical Therapy there in Salem, the new office. So 2022, so kind of right as the pandemic was maybe winding down a little bit there. And your business is definitely working face-to-face with people. So I imagine you went through quite a bit with the pandemic and the restrictions and all those things were going on. But I want to go back to when you were in high school and then coming into college. So you're an athlete. When did you decide that you wanted to get into physical therapy? And then you ended up at Corbin and George Fox. Both of those are great schools. My wife, by the way, graduated. Her school was George Fox. So
nice.
Great school. Good programs there. So tell us, when did you get this idea and start moving forward with becoming a physical therapist?
Yeah, it was actually in high school, my sophomore year in high school. I knew I wanted to be a PT early on at that point. I was riding my bike and I actually got hit by a car. And I broke multiple bones in my body. And I had to do a lot of rehab. And I just loved that aspect of rehab. and getting somewhere to where they feel limited and they can't do what they want to do, to where I was able to run, play basketball, and everything I wanted to do physically. And I just loved, basically coaching and encouraging people to get back to doing what they love doing. And I've dealt with injuries all through high school and college, but PT always kind of got me back to where I wanted to be at. And so I just love that tool where you don't have to rely on opioids or surgery and those kind of things. Obviously, there's a time and place for that, but 9 times out of 10, the body needs motion and manual therapy to kind of get there. So yeah.
Well, first of all, Kevin, one thing that not everybody knows about you and I is we usually solve all the world's problems and cover every sport within one therapy session. So we cover a lot of ground, and Kevin and I have a lot in common, which is great, including our faith. And, really, this is the core of what I'm all about. And I feel like you're all about, and that is your faith and trusting God to lead you. Going to Corbin, a great Christian school, was in the same league as Northwest University, where both my kids and my wife went. They all went to that school. So excellent school. But anyway, talk a little bit about that. Talk a little bit about the importance of your faith and how it relates to your business and your family and everything.
Yeah, no, faith is huge, not just for me, but also as a company. When I joined Healing Motion, their core values is love, growth, and grace. And the owners are believers also, and they try and make sure that the culture is all around that, and which I love, because as you were alluding to earlier, as far as 2020 through 2022, like it was an interesting time to be a believer, and it was such a polarizing time between vaccine, masks, politics, and just I felt like people would just get really heated talking about those kind of things, and I felt like my faith kind of helped me kind of just hear where people are at and not judge on either side, and just hearing them out and just kind of approach it with grace, as far as just loving on them no matter what, and just seeing them as a person. So that's why I love being in the medical field, and of just seeing like everybody of like either believers, non-believers, and just having, I don't know, I feel like I would have sometimes patients who would bash Christianity or bash churches and those kind of things. And after like a few sessions, they would ask me like, "Are you a believer? Are you a Christian?" And I would say yes. And I'd say, "I'm sorry that was your experience." And so I think I'm not usually upfront about my faith with patients or other people, but at least having like, I don't know, I just view God uses us as like little spots in people's lives of like, oh, there was something different about him or about that company, that might direct him in the end, as far as like what part I can play in someone's walk in faith. But I don't know if that really answers your question. I was kind of all over the place. Yeah, sorry.
No, that's great. It's working out our faith, right? Living our faith, just being that example, creating that opportunity for people to ask you that question, and then being bold and responding back. So that's seems like a great way to go. And so today's guest on the Experience Local, Kevin Coriano, Healing Motion Physical Therapy. Kevin, you were an athlete in high school and college, and now you have 3 children. We had 3 children, and people ask if you have any hobbies, and you're just like, well, yeah, they're all around my feet, yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I always said, you can draw it. You take a compass and you put the point on their school, and you go about 10 miles out from that, and you go, my whole life needs to be encompassed in that circle, in that radius. But community involvement as an athlete, that a lot of the athletes that I've worked with in the past, talked to with in the past, get
Mhm.
involved in the community and sports and so forth.
Mhm.
Tell us about your involvement and the things that you're involved in.
Yeah. Um, yeah, with Healing Motion, we definitely want to be involved in the community. And um, I usually, like, the first year I was reaching out to like nonprofits, and my wife actually did a lot of that. Like, she was working with Hope Pregnancy Center, Family Building Blocks, Shangri-La, and like a bunch of other, like we would volunteer, we would sponsor, and those kind of things. But she decided to go back to work teaching this past year, and so it was kind of fallen on me. So this past year we haven't been as involved, but as we're getting more established and hiring more PTs, I've been having more time to reach out. So like this afternoon, I actually have a meeting with Family Building Blocks on how we can help out, and then we'll start volunteering at Salem free clinics, and kind of getting involved with them and like helping people through PT at their clinics. So the goal is to be established in the community to where we're not just treating people physically, but yeah, emotionally, or just with our time also, as far as volunteering, to where when people see Healing Motion, it's like recognized not just for PT, but just also being involved in the community.
Yeah, I love Family Building Blocks is an excellent organization, and I know most of them down there. I'm not sure who you're meeting with, but they're a great group, and I see
Mhm.
them pretty much every week at one of the
Oh yeah.
chamber meetings.
Hmm.
And no, what I love about your whole organization. So Dane, who is a friend of mine down in the Corvallis office, how I
Hmm.
originally got to you, physical therapist down there, another strong believer, but also a man who's very involved in the communities, coming to all the chamber things. You and I have met at the chamber in Salem before.
Hmm.
And, and I really love that becoming part of everything going on, like Scott said, because I think that it, in order to act upon your faith, is to really have to reach out for people, right? It gives you that opportunity that God gives you as you move along. But with all that said, I want to circle back to your family. My question really has you being I mean, you haven't been a husband that long and you haven't been a father that long. So trying to navigate that, which is really after God is your first priority,
Hmm.
along with a new business and work and all that, not an easy thing to do.
Hmm.
So how do you keep all that in balance and keep that in check?
Hmm.
Did your wife just always tell you, honey, here's what you have to do, and you just say, yes, ma'am, yes, dear, or how did that work?
No, that is definitely a part of it for sure. Happy wife, happy life. That's a it's a true statement. No, that once again, I keep circling back to working for Healing Motion. Like, one of the top things that they emphasize is family. Like, they want to make sure that your work-life balance is good. Like, you're good at home, which helps with how good you are as a clinician. And they don't want to make sure that you're not getting burnt out, that you're not having to take work home with you, and you're not seeing so many patients a day where your battery is kind of drained by the end of the day. So I'm really thankful for their business model and how they take care of their PTs at Healing Motion. So that helps me out, because I've been to clinics where I'm seeing 18 patients in an 8-hour day, and I'm just completely toast. And I'll make priority to like take care of, like, be with my family, but as far as like my own healthcare, like, it was kind of at the bottom. But I feel like with the little kids, my wife working, it is just like prioritizing like what's important, and also kind of just being in the moment of not always looking ahead of like, oh, I got to do this on the to-do list, and actually taking time of like listening to my 5-year-old tell me the 5th joke in a row and being engaged with it. Um, and also just involving them like in my fitness too. Like, we prioritize making a little home gym in our garage, and so they'll like work out in there with me, or they'll ride their bikes around the garage. Like, we'll go on little runs together where I'm pushing a stroller and they're riding their bikes around. And so we're trying to like incorporate our hobbies and what we love doing to what they're doing, or what they enjoy doing also. Like this summer we ran several races together. Allie would run like the 10K, and me and the boys would run a 5K during the race. It's a great way of kind of getting their energy out for sure.
Mhm.
But no, I feel like it's a lot of work, but I wouldn't change it for the world. Having all three of them, and yeah, and I think it's just an open communication with Allie and just prioritizing time with Allie's my wife, prioritizing time with her as far as making sure that her needs are met, anything I need to work on, and making sure we're on the same page as far as parenting and schedules. But yeah, it's busy but fun.
I was picking up some people to ride in my car when my children were young. And as they were climbing into the car and into the back seat, I said, I don't even apologize for my car anymore. I have 3 children.
Yep.
You're standing on pizza boxes or whatever. That's
Yeah.
the way that's life, right?
Oh, yes.
We integrate the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I love this, when we went into the whole pandemic and home offices really skyrocketed.
Mm-hmm.
I love that you have the home gym. I just think that's even better than the home office, by the way. So that's really cool. And you're talking about burnout, and so Kevin Coriano, our believer in business today, healing motion physical therapy. You're talking about burnout. A lot of people experience this in their family life, in their business, job, just the stresses of living today. There's a lot of things going on. And having gone to the physical therapist before, I'm just amazed, right? I mean, this is a complex machine, and there's no owner's manual for this body that we're being given. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm just amazed that you guys can do what you do, and it's effective. I can just say from personal experience.
Thank
And
you.
so, but thinking about this burnout specifically, and maybe people are thinking, this thing on my back or my leg, or what are some things that they say, maybe I need to talk to a physical therapist, not get some more ibuprofen or something like that. What would lead to this, and how can you help people just eliminate or reduce the stresses that we have from daily life?
Yeah. Daily life, like not even just an injury, like it can be, like you said, working from home and sitting on a chair for 8-10 hours can be rough on the back and all that. No, what we like doing is kind of doing a full eval as far as like how you might move different or awkwardly, or certain spots that are tight, weak, unstable, and then try to like make a good game plan together as far as like, what is your goal? Like, are you wanting to hike a certain amount of miles, or be able to stand for an hour, or play with your kids? And so we try and tailor that to each patient individually, on top of manual therapy. So like we're trained in doing soft tissue mobilizations, adjustments in the back, mobilizations of the joint, and all those kind of things to kind of help speed that process along. I feel like PTs, we're getting better as far as advocating for our profession, because a lot of times when people get injured, people just automatically think of massage or chiropractors. I think people are now realizing PT has a lot of the manual benefits, along with like exercise and stretching prescription, to kind of keep those manual treatments like lasting longer, and to avoid a future injury a future injury. So I think, I feel like people are also realizing with PT that it is also a good preventative thing also. I've had patients come in like once every 6 months or a year just to kind of get checked in on, or someone might have like osteoporosis, or they're afraid of falling. And so even just doing preventative care and screening is huge as far as avoiding something in the future. So yeah, PT has a lot to offer. And that's why I love it, because it ranges from geriatrics, cardio rehab, pediatrics, and the list goes on and on.
Well, I can be the first to attest you do an amazing job. Not only making sure that I'm on the latest edge of sports in this world. And did Steph Curry really get traded to the Lakers, or are they just talking about it? Anyway, I digress. But I want to say that, Kevin has worked so far. Let's see, how many different areas you've worked on my neck, on my back, on my foot, and now on my hand. So we're just taking, my body is ever in need of one thing or the other. But I want to say that to recommend to all of you, it doesn't really matter what you're going on. I just had a couple little issues with my hand. Physical therapy has really helped in that area. So there's so many things you can do that really will help you. And most insurances cover that, which is a plus too. And so that's something that you want to consider. But Kevin, as we wrap things up here, got a couple more minutes. We need you to give us your gold nugget of the day. What do you really want people to remember about you, about Healing Motion? Just really, what's that gold nugget? And then tell us how to get in touch with you best.
Yeah. Well, gold nugget, man. I feel like a mantra that always sticks out to me is motion is lotion. A lot of times after an injury, people are afraid of moving or they just rest. And most of the time the body needs movement, motion, load resistance. Because a lot of times we kind of just get stuck in certain movement patterns that we do every day. And then when you try veering off that movement pattern by playing pickup basketball that you haven't picked up a basketball in like months, like boom, you're at risk for an injury or something like that. And so I tell people, don't it's not use it or lose it, it's use it, and it takes some time to get back. So I've always stuck with that. Obviously there's times when you have a major injury, you should probably get it double checked just to make sure, but that's our job, is to get people moving. But I've always loved that little golden nugget is motion is lotion. But quick little tidbit about our business model with Healing Motion. The reason why we're doing, I feel like, well, is because we don't use any aides or assistants. It's only PTs that you will see, and you're always going to see the same PT every single time. And we do take all insurances. But I think people really enjoy seeing just the PT. Not that I'm saying like anything bad about other clinics, but usually someone will get checked in, or they only see the PT for like 5-10 minutes, and then they see an aide or assistant. You'll see us all the way through. But sorry.
The best way to get a hold of you?
The best way of getting a hold of me, you can email me on my work email of kevin@healingmotionpt.com. Or you can call us at 971-301-6225.
Perfect. That is so good. Well, we'll definitely have all that in the comments and the show notes. Kevin, thank you so much for being here today. We appreciate you so much.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. It was fun.
You bet.
Yeah,
hey,
just great chatting. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to send you to the green room. We'll be right there as we wrap up. Thanks again. And boy, Scott, I tell you, man, another great one. I tell you, there's so many amazing businesses locally, and your local shifting a little bit. And we want to tell everybody, focus on your local too. Don't forget your local economy, local business where you are.
That's right. Yeah. Every economy has its local side, and support those local businesses. They provide jobs. They're the services. And when you need them, you want them to be there. And the way they're going to be there is if you patronize their business.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Don't forget, everybody, we're here live 9 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time every week on Monday. And you can also catch us on the Experience Radio Network. Look for that. This also converts to audio podcast. And until next Monday, have an amazing, amazing life and enjoy
the experience.
Woo-hoo. See you guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in to The Experience Local with Russ and Scott. Listen to the program on Spotify or wherever you listen to fine podcasts. Join in every Monday live at 9 a.m. Pacific on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. We look forward to seeing you next time on The Experience Local with Russ and Scott.